She can stop a war with love, make a hawk a dove, and make a liar tell the truth. But to do all that, Wonder Woman is gonna have to gear up. Jack Nicholson's Joker asked the question that's on everybody's minds every time we engage in a superhero story. Where do they get those wonderful toys? Batman isn't the only superhero with super swag. The woman from Themyscira has a few choice tools to help in her quest to get us out from under. It's time for Wonder Woman's gear. Seriously though, the 1970s Wonder Woman theme is one of the funkiest superhero themes
ever.
Well done, sisters!
We're all getting the same Christmas present this year when the shining star of the DCEU makes her way back to theaters and your very own home television screen with the hotly anticipated Wonder Woman sequel, Wonder Woman 1984. Like any proper sequel, bigger is always better.
The program always gets twitchy with this footage.
And we've gotten glimpses or reveals on some of Wonder Woman's greatest tools that she's employed in the fight for justice and understanding over the decades. But notable among these new gadgets and gizmos is what's missing: the spear and magic helmet. Wait, nah, that's not right. The spear and magic helmet is the other guy. Yeah, spear and magic helmet. Sword and shield. That's what's missing. Well, for fans of the Star-Spangled Wonder Woman of old, the sword and shield from Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, guest starring Wonder Woman as the only one clear on what her job was. In Wonder Woman, the sword was a decoy god-killing weapon. Turns out, that god-killing weapon was inside of us all along. For this outing, however, star Gal Gadot and director Patty Jenkins have decided to put the sword and shield in storage.
You liar.
During some press for the movie last December, when we still thought there would be a summer, Gal Gadot explained the lack of gear, saying, "Wonder Woman does not carry a weapon. We had an intention to let go of the sword because there's something very aggressive with a sword. If you have a sword, it means you need to use it. So we wanted to give that up. And we didn't feel that the shield was necessary either. She's a goddess. She can fight. She's super strong, and she has the skills." That doesn't mean that Wonder Woman is going in unequipped for the challenges ahead. Before someone got the idea of putting a sword and shield in her hand, she had some sweet gear to call upon. And there are some we've already seen. Let's see what she's packed in the old panty wagon this time around. I wouldn't be the first person to point out that the armor for women hasn't been the most functional in fantasy and science fiction.
It's fashion.
Though when the chips are down and the stakes are high, it's kinda nice now and then to be able to call on some armor that actually means business. One of the biggest features in the trailers for Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman in the Golden Eagle armor. Whatever the bad guys are up to in Wonder Woman 1984, it's serious business, because the Golden Eagle armor is something she busts out when the going gets extra tough. Like in the comics, when she faced Devastation, another Greek warrior formed by the gods. Wonder Woman without armor is pretty hard to hurt, but the golden armor ups the game. The mask can seal the armor up, providing its own air, allowing Wonder Woman to survive more toxic environments. It's a bit like a magic suit of power armor without the chatty AI. It also allows her to fly, as so far in the DCEU she's been limited to her ability to super jump and cue a sweet guitar riff. You know the one. There are two items that without them present, is the character even really Wonder Woman? One of those is the Bracelets of Submission. The backstory of the Amazons involves a time in which Hercules had enslaved the Amazons. They wore the bracelets to remind them of what they were fighting for, and, you know, after a while you kind of fancy them up a bit. The primary use of the bracelets is Wonder Woman's first line of defense. She has the reflexes of a goddess, and a pair of bracelets made out of magic metal from the Shield of Aegis. Wonder Woman's bracelets are part of the Wonder Woman pose. When you pose like Wonder Woman, you deflect bullets with your super cool bracelets. There were some disadvantages at certain points with the bracelets, including holding back the Amazon's power, especially if you managed to attach chains. All that pent-up power could be released just by taking them off. In the DCEU, she's demonstrated the ability of the bracelets to create a concussive force by clanging them together. It's a pretty sweet clear the dance floor move. The next on that list of must-haves to really be Wonder Woman is the Lasso of Truth, Wonder Woman's definitive weapon. It was a lot of the things you would expect. It was really strong, it was about as long as she needed it to be, it was golden, and it glowed when she used it. But it also has a function that comes in really, really handy when you're trying to solve a mystery. It compels whoever is touching it to tell the truth.
But it's really hot.
Imagine how much discomfort you're saving yourself by not having to growl, "I'm Wonder Woman," You just get him in the lasso that she's super good at using, and then you ask him whatever you want. But choose your questions carefully, because you're gonna get a really honest answer. There are a lot of parallels between Wonder Woman and the way her creator William Marston saw the world. Not all of which we'll get into here, but the idea of detecting knowably when someone was telling the truth was something of a fascination of Marston's, who participated in the development of the polygraph or lie detector test.
I think that was beautiful.
It's not really a Wonder Woman movie without some sweet swinging lasso action, and the trailers have shown that that is what we will get. She may be of the self-rescuing variety, but Wonder Woman is still a princess. Crowns and ceremonial gowns are great for when things go down, but you still want to wear some sort of headgear. But it shouldn't just sit there. It should also have a job, other than keeping your hair out of your face. Like being able to be used like a boomerang. Ultimately, it works less like a boomerang than it does Captain America's shield, and that it does pretty much exactly what she's intended it to do. After all, she had hundreds of years of practice. In fact, the tiara, aside from being particularly robust and sharp when she needs it, doesn't really have any powers. As they say, it's in the way you use it. In comics, she's used it quite effectively, including cutting Superman himself when she was under the control of evil CEO Maxwell Lord. Good thing Supes came around during Justice League, huh? As the title says, this Wonder Woman takes place in 1984, complete with a still-present Steve Trevor for some reason. This echoes the Linda Carter Wonder Woman television series. The first season took place during World War II, then the second season suddenly took place in the 70s with an unaged Steve Trevor. And that is because it was Steve Trevor Jr. who happened to also look exactly like Lyle Wagner. The less you think about Diana and her relationship between Steve Sr. and Steve Jr., the better.
Don't I wish?
CBS had decided that a superhero show and a period piece was one too many genres. It's no Steve Jr. in Wonder Woman 1984, but it is in the 80s. And what could be more 80s than an IROC Camaro? Oh, what's that? Oh, the Information Retrieval Associative Computer. Oh, IRAC. That makes a lot more sense. The computer they called IRA at Interagency Defense Command, where Diana worked in the second and third season of Wonder Woman. True to its name, it sort of acted as a criminal search engine that assisted the agency.
I'm sorry to interrupt anything.
It started life as a light-up terminal, but was eventually given a rover body so that it could be put in more danger. IRA exists for the TV only, and its appearance in Wonder Woman 1984 might be a bit of a long shot, but there are scenes indicating someone taking advantage of early computer networks.
Illogical but unfortunately useless conclusion.
Maybe IRA will be given a bad guy origin before it's adapted into Diana's crime computer. While we're making wishes, there's one wish that a lot of people have had since the trailer revealed Steve Trevor and Diana in the cockpit of an otherwise unseen jet. Unseen jet, you say? Well, Wonder Woman has always been a big figure in the DC universe, so she had to get a special ride of her own, and it's one of the most beloved and ridiculed superhero rides of all time, the Invisible Jet. In most depictions, the jet itself is invisible, but doesn't confer that invisibility on the occupants. So it's just a wire frame of a jet that Wonder Woman sits in, meaning while Superman does his modified Heisman pose while he flies through the air, and Batman sits inside his cool jet-black jet, a sitting Wonder Woman just kinda whooshes by in an invisible jet. It's not a ride that has aged very well, but its adorable ridiculousness means that you can't help but want to see it. Well, as much as an invisible jet can be seen. Patty Jenkins has been a bit cagey about the invisible jet, recognizing that the jet is inherently silly. But we still want to see it. It might be the ace in the hole after Diana introduces Steve to the concept of radar, and then allows them to fly through a fireworks display. One means of getting around that we don't have to speculate on in Wonder Woman 1984, thanks to the trailer, is we know that at some point Diana is going to ride the lightning. Literally. In one of the big effect scenes, we see Wonder Woman using her lasso to swing from lightning bolt to lightning bolt like an extra dramatic Spider-Woman. She doesn't seem to be wielding the lightning, but she seems to have a pretty good idea of where it's gonna show up. In the comics, Diana has been able to summon lightning bolts fresh from Zeus himself, being a creation of the great gods and all, and it looks like she'll have a variation of that power when things get serious in 1984.